think that nonfiction is the opposite of but what is really weird about nonfiction and the truth is because nonfiction can sometimes not be the true, because Bond on the River, when they made like those when Miss Goldberg is like when like they're saying what, like Samuel says something, but we don't know if they were actually saying that, so it will not be real.
That's true, but Poison in the Colony is not nonfiction.
Yeah, not nonfiction, but we don't know if the words are the truth.
Yeah, that is why Poison in the Colony is fiction. So you are right about that. But
it's historic fiction.
What did you say, Henry?
Historic fiction.
Yeah, Poison in the Colony is historic fiction. And if fiction is something that is not true, then the opposite of that would be nonfiction, not fiction. So, any other ideas about what nonfiction is? Or what nonfiction has a relationship with the truth? What's the relationship there? Addie, do you have an idea?
Well, in some books, they are saying the right thing. Like if it's like a book about frogs, they might be actually saying the truth about like what frogs do or say, and that would be true.
Yes, that is true. In nonfiction books, everything they say is true. So in nonfiction, everything you read is the truth. It's all factual. Suresh, do you have something to add?
But like, how do you know it could be true? Like they could have just like guessed. Like they could have not known. How do you know it's always true?
That's a good point. When you read, like, normally people who write nonfiction books do a lot of research on it. So like to write an encyclopedia, that's all nonfiction, and you have to do so much research for that. And you find the facts to write about it. Any other questions or comments about nonfiction and the truth? So can someone give me a summary answering this question? What is the relationship between nonfiction and the truth, using what we just talked about? Go ahead, Suresh.
It's that nonfiction and the truth go together because technically the truth is inside of most of nonfiction books.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to our feature articles, readers use text features to learn more information. What are some examples of different text features that readers could use? We looked a lot at them yesterday when we were looking at the different examples of feature articles. What are some examples of different text features that we could use to learn more information? Addie, do you remember some that we looked at yesterday?
Yeah, so like headings.
Yeah.
Like the title.
Yes. Suresh, do you remember some?
I remember bold words and what was it called? Like when there's a new paragraph, it's like new subject.
A heading.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys know more. There's one really obvious one that everyone likes to look at when we look at different articles. Ella, what is it?
The pictures?
Yes, we can look at pictures to learn more information. Definitely. All right, any others? I have a big list to look at together. So we can look at headings, like you said, bold words, like you said. We can look at diagrams, so graphs or charts. Those can give us a lot of really good information. We can look at pictures, which could be illustrations, so someone could have drawn the picture and put it in, or they could be photographs. We could look at maps, at the captions on pictures, a glossary, a table of contents, or labels. So go grab a piece of paper. We're going to do something kind of similar to what we did yesterday. Go grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and we're going to look at some more examples of different articles. And we're going to look at this really cool website that you guys can look at on your own also to read about different topics, different nonfiction articles. But we'll look at a few together right now. Okay, we ready to go? Anyone need another second to grab a piece of paper or anything? I think we're all set. So this is the website that we're going to be exploring a little bit. It's called Science News for Students, and it's all nonfiction articles. So I'm going to look for an interesting one that I think we will want to read about. This one really sounds interesting to me. Please do not touch the Australian stinging tree. Can you give me a thumbs up if you want to read that one? 2 thumbs up. Okay, we'll look at that one. We'll look at a few more. Please do not touch the Australian stinging tree. So as we're looking at this, if you see anything that you might want to write down, you can go ahead and jot that on your paper. It can be about anything, like we did yesterday. Please do not touch the Australian stinging tree. Its leaves are covered with sharp needles that inject a spider-like venom. So this is the picture that we have first. The caption says, stinging trees on the left look harmless, but their stems and petioles in the middle are covered with tiny needle-like hairs, which is on the right, that inject venom under the skin. That sounds really freaky. And this is what the whole article looks like. I'm not going to read it all, but it keeps going. William, do you have a question?
In the Caribbean, there's another kind of tree. You touch its sap. So I needed to look. I looked at this article about the dangers of Barbados, which I'm going to, and it says that if you touch the bark of there's a kind of tree that lives there. If you touch the bark, it burns off all the skin in your hands.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
And if you touch the sap, you die.
Oh my goodness, that sounds really...
And if you eat the fruit, you get food poisoning.
Wow, that is a dangerous tree. Ella, write that down on your paper. That's a good observation. And let's look at this long thing. It's titled Power Words. Why do they put this here with all these different words that are bolded? Anyone have any ideas why they would put this at the end of the article? Harry, why do you think they'd put this at the end of the article?
Because it's a glossary.
Yes, it's like a glossary. So, and what does that mean? What is a glossary?
A glossary is a bunch of words and it says something about it.
Yep. It gives you a bunch of words that they wrote about in the article, and it gives you the definition to each and describes each, so that if you don't know a word, maybe you didn't know what neuroscientist means, you can come down to the glossary and look at the definition, and then it'll make sense when you're reading the article. Okay, anyone want to share anything they noticed about this article? Ella, what's something you noticed about this article?
I noticed that it's telling the dangers about how, like, why not to touch the Australian stinging tree.
It's very informative, you'd say? Yeah. Harry, what's something you noticed about this article?
I noticed that it's longer than any other article that we've read.
Yes, it is kind of long. That's true. Ash, what's something you noticed?
I'm noticing that they're telling you a lot of facts, not how telling you a lot of facts about it. So then if you ever go to Australia, then if you see one of those things, you make sure to look under the stem before you pick it or anything.
I like how you said you noticed that they have a lot of facts, because we know that facts are always true, right? You can't argue with facts, and that's what makes this nonfiction, because we know it's true.
And also, it looks very. It looks like it has. Looks like it has lots of detail in it.
Yes, you're right. It does have a lot of detail in it. Suresh, what's something you notice about this article?
Their pictures are like really zoomed in sometimes. Like the middle one, it's like zoomed in.
Mm-hmm. And the one on the right is the middle picture, but zoomed in even more, so they can show you all the details. And we have this really informative caption, which tells you what each of the sections mean.
And also, when I go to Australia anytime, I am never going to touch a plant that looks like that.
Good. Now you know. I'm glad we read this. All right. Any last thoughts about this article before we look at another one? Harry?
The background in the first one does not look like Australia.
Oh, you don't think it does?
Yeah, it's a little bit too forested, and I thought that Australia would be more deserted.
Oh.
There's a little bit of like dark. That's where the koalas live.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On the west side.
Mm-hmm. It does look very foresty. That's true. All right, well, let's go back to the front page and look at some others. Analyze this. Ropes restore a highway through a rainforest. Anyone interested in that one? Ash has a thumbs down. I see a few thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs down. Okay, let's keep looking. Maybe we'll come back to it. Oh, this prehistoric woman from Peru hunted big game. And the caption is, women in the Americas speared large prey as early as 9,000 years ago. New archaeological evidence suggests. Does anyone have an idea why they would put this here? Why they would put this sentence right under the title? Chris, why do you think they put that sentence there?
So that people know like what this story is about.
Yes, exactly. They put a little summary under the sentence, under the title, to get the reader's attention. And so that we can know what the story is about. Exactly. Oh,
let's read the one about Jupiter. The Jupiter has.
It also helps.
Anyone interested in this one? Let's learn about virtual reality. Thumbs up for that one.